In March of 1928, Los Angeles was full of noise. Streetcars rang through the city. Automobiles pushed through dusty roads. Movie posters promised glamour, escape, and bright new lives. And in a quiet part of Los Angeles called Lincoln Heights, a 9-year-old boy named Walter Collins left home to go to the movies. He had been given money for the trip. He was expected back, but Walter did not come home. At first, it looked like one missing child in a fast-growing city. A frightened mother, a police department under pressure, a public waiting for good news. Then, months later, police claimed they had found Walter. His mother, Christine Collins, looked at the boy they brought to her and said something no one in authority wanted to hear. "This is not my son." That sentence should have restarted the investigation. Instead, it exposed something far darker. This is the story of the Wineville Chicken Coop Murders, the disappearance of Walter Collins, and the scandal that showed how far a police department could go to protect its own reputation. Los Angeles in 1928 was a city trying to become a symbol of the future. Hollywood was growing. New neighborhoods were spreading outward. Families arrived with hopes of work, stability, and a better life. But behind the city's bright image, police work was still uneven. Missing children cases depended heavily on witness tips, newspaper attention, and pressure from the public. There were no modern databases, no Amber Alerts, no instant national communication. When Walter Collins disappeared on March 10, 1928, his mother Christine entered a nightmare that many parents feared, but few were forced to live in public. Christine was not wealthy or powerful. She was a working mother. Her husband, Walter's father, was not in the home. And police first considered whether the boy's disappearance might be connected to revenge against him. But there was no clear proof. The search stretched on. Tips came from different places. Some led nowhere. Newspapers printed Walter's name. Police followed reports. Christine waited for news that did not come. Then, in August of 1928, a boy in Illinois claimed he was Walter Collins. To police, it looked like the ending they needed. The boy was sent to Los Angeles. Cameras gathered. Reporters waited. Officials prepared for a public reunion. But when Christine saw him, she knew. He resembled Walter enough to confuse strangers, but not a mother. His face was wrong. His body was wrong. His teeth were wrong. He was not her child. The Los Angeles Police Department did not want to hear that. Under pressure to close the case, Captain J. Jones urged Christine to take the boy home and try him out. It was an astonishing suggestion, but Christine was exhausted, surrounded by authority, and desperate for the truth. She took him home for a short time, but a mother cannot be persuaded into forgetting her own child. Christine returned to the police with evidence. Dental records showed differences between Walter and the boy who claimed his name. Friends and acquaintances supported her. She insisted again that the boy was an impostor. This time, the police response was not confusion. It was punishment. Christine Collins was sent to the psychiatric ward at Los Angeles County General Hospital for evaluation. The message was clear. If she refused the official story, then she would be treated as the problem. While Christine was confined, the truth came out. The boy was not Walter Collins. He was Arthur Hutchins, a runaway from Iowa. According to later accounts, he had taken Walter's identity after realizing the missing boy's story could get him attention and a trip to California. Christine had been right from the beginning. But by then, the Walter Collins case had collided with another investigation, one unfolding outside Los Angeles in a rural community called Wineville, now known as Mira Loma. Wineville was not the city. It was open land. The poultry farms, fences, dry roads, and scattered houses. It was the kind of place where a man could build a chicken ranch and appear to be just another farmer trying to make a living. That man was Gordon Stewart Northcott. Northcott had come from Canada and settled in Southern California. On his Wineville ranch, he kept chicken coops and farm structures. But according to investigators and later court records, the ranch hid crimes against boys and young men. The case began to break because of Sanford Clark, Northcott's young nephew. Sanford had been brought from Canada to live and work at the ranch. He later became a key witness for the prosecution. According to the court record, Sanford described how boys had been brought to the ranch and held there. His testimony became central to the case against Northcott. The investigation widened quickly. Deputies searched the Wineville property. Newspaper reporters descended on the area. The quiet ranch became one of the most watched crime scenes in California. Authorities connected Northcott to multiple victims, including Nelson and Louis Winslow, brothers who disappeared in May 1928 after leaving a boys' model yacht club meeting. Court records later stated that the brothers were taken to Northcott's ranch and held there before they were killed. Another count involved an unidentified young man whose body had been found near Puente earlier that year. Later accounts have connected him to the name Jose Gonzalez or Alvin Gothea, though historical records vary, so the safest wording is to call him the unidentified young man in the legal record. Northcott fled to Canada with his mother, Sarah Louise Northcott, as the investigation closed in. Both were eventually arrested and returned to California. The trial of Gordon Stewart Northcott took place in Riverside County. The presiding judge was a man, Judge George R. Freeman. This was an American courtroom, so there were no British-style wigs. Lawyers wore dark suits, stiff collars, ties, and polished shoes. Reporters filled the room with notebooks. The public followed every development. Northcott faced 3 murder counts. According to the California Supreme Court record, after a prolonged trial, he was found guilty as charged. The jury did not recommend mercy, and he was sentenced to death. Sarah Louise Northcott faced her own legal outcome. She pleaded guilty in connection with the death of Walter Collins and received a life sentence. But Walter's case remained painful and uncertain. Authorities came to believe Walter had been one of the Wineville victims. Sarah Northcott's plea tied her legally to his death. Gordon Northcott made statements and confessions that shifted over time, but Walter's body was never recovered, and Christine Collins never stopped carrying the burden of that uncertainty. For Christine, the police scandal did not end with the impostor. After her release, she challenged the city and the police. Public anger grew. More than 1,000 people packed a Los Angeles City Hall hearing, demanding answers about how a grieving mother had been punished for telling the truth. Captain J.J. Jones and the police department became symbols of institutional arrogance. Christine had been treated as irrational because her grief was inconvenient, but she had been right. The case damaged public trust in the Los Angeles Police Department. It also changed how many people thought about missing children, police authority, and the power of newspapers to shape public pressure. In 1930, Wineville changed its name to Mira Loma. The community wanted distance from the horror attached to the old name, but names do not erase memory. The story remains because it is not only about Gordon Northcott. It is not only about a ranch, a trial, or a confession. It is about Walter Collins, a child who vanished and never came home. It is about the Winslow brothers and the other victims whose lives were cut short. And it is about Christine Collins, a mother who stood in front of police, newspapers, and doctors and refused to accept a lie just because powerful men called it the truth. The Wineville case was solved in court, but not every question was answered. What exactly happened to Walter Collins may never be known with complete certainty, but one fact survived every official denial. Christine Collins knew her child, and when the whole city wanted her to be silent, she said the sentence that exposed the truth: "That is not my son."